Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Evolve with Emily show. I'm your host, Emily Hayden, and I want to say a special shout out to everyone watching on YouTube. What's up? Your feedback has been absolutely incredible. A lot of you guys have said that it really does make a difference to watch it. So if you're listening on something like Spotify or SoundCloud or Apple, then I encourage you guys to head on over to my YouTube channel and come watch me there. So for today's episode, I have a highly requested guest. I asked on my Instagram who you guys wanted to see, and this one popped up probably like I don't know, a million times, which was the plan anyways, but I'm so excited to get him in here today. So today's guest is my personal trainer, Doug, and he is somebody he's a super heavyweight personal trainer of elite level athletes. He's one of the Gold's Gym regulars, Gold's Gym Venice. And he's the hardest worker in any room that you'll be in, like hands down for sure. But he's somebody who has really good moral character. He's a man of good faith, and he is just like a downright good person. So I know you guys want to know all the ins and outs of like how we, got together as trainer and client, his background, his past and everything. So we're going to dive into all of that today, as well as everything that the guys want to know. I know you guys want to know, how do you get arms like that? How do you look like that? What does he do? So let's go ahead and welcome our guest and get into it. Doug, thank you so much for being here today.
Oh, geez, what a welcome. Thank you.
Of course.
Yeah, happy to be here. Excited.
Yeah. So, okay, why don't we start with how we started training together? Because everyone's kind of wondering, like, how did this start? And I don't know. I feel like it's not really that common to see people stick together that long and that consistently.
No, definitely not. Energy definitely matched.
Yeah.
But
okay, wait. Honestly, what did you really think when you saw like the real side of me? Because like everyone sees the like, hello, welcome to the Evolve with Emily show, and he laughs already. But like, what did you think the first time you saw like the real part of me?
Understanding Emily in the gym, I feel like it's like an onion. Every day you get to peel back a different layer, and with each one is a whole new facet of energy that it's just pretty fascinating. And I mean, there's no end to the diversity.
Yeah.
You never know sometimes
you never know what you're going to get.
But you can always count on the fact that it's going to be intense and it's going to, it's going to accomplish something.
Yeah. And I would say, so one of our first times training together was with actually Danielle and Samantha. They invited me to a group training session, and we trained legs. And I specifically remember, we did a lot of things that day, but I specifically remember the leg press in the second room of Gold's Gym Venice. And it was on that like third leg press down. And we were, I remember. And we were doing like pause reps and negative reps and like all the little things that you add in the middle of the set randomly. Like you tell us, okay, we're doing 15, but then in the middle of the set, you're like pause rep or this or that. And I remember it was like you're putting gas inside of a fire. I was like, like I love this.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I do. I get lost sometimes. I get so excited. If the energy is there and we're really doing something, I'll just get excited. I'm like, no, we can make this better. You get something good, but if you just do this and this right now, then it'll be perfect.
Exactly.
And then I walk away like, yes.
Yeah, that's one thing that I've always loved about you is you match people's energy, which I think is also very like smart and conservative of you in the sense that like you're not going to work harder than the person that you're training. Like,
well, yeah. I mean, I feel like people come to a personal trainer to get something that they need.
Right.
And not everybody needs to be yelled at and screamed at until they get 30 reps, Yeah. Some people, so that's why I try to match everybody's energies. It's like, you know what, I'll give you all the intensity you want. Mm-hmm. You just got to show me how much you want.
Exactly. Yeah. I love that.
I always say, I'm the gas, you're the brakes. Let's go.
So true. Unless it's me, and
then
I'm like,
you,
more.
I'm the gas, and you're the gas.
And then, yeah.
Just watch out.
Yeah. All right. So before we go more into like the training aspect and stuff, we actually would want to know you a little bit better. So will you give the audience and everyone listening just more of an insight to you? Where did you grow up? What was your home life look like? And did you play sports in high school? What kind of led to you being in the gym in the first place?
Yeah. Oh, that's a great story, really.
Yeah, sure.
It gets better every day. But no, I'm Doug. Obviously, y'all know me. I am from Albuquerque, New Mexico originally. That's where I went and grew up. In between, traveled around New Mexico, but I'm a Southwest guy. I came out to LA to pursue bodybuilding. I had competed a little bit back in New Mexico, wasn't a personal trainer, but I literally moved to LA just for Gold's. Like, I moved to Gold's Gym. I didn't move to Los Angeles. I didn't move to Marina Del Rey. I moved to Gold's Gym.
Yeah.
And it was just like, let's see what we can do. And if you would have told me before I started personal training that I would enjoy personal training so much, I would have been like, you're absolutely nuts. No way would I enjoy that. But I have loved every minute of it. It's been a wonderful way for me to stay in the environment that I love being in and make a good life for myself and just develop some relationships that you don't even know the potential for the human relationships until you experience some of these things in a workplace environment that's so diverse. And it's just, oh man.
Oh, it's so true. It's so true. I didn't really think about that in the sense that this job allows you to connect so much deeper than, for example, just any other job that you would have. Because, I mean, you and I both know sometimes you come in there and you're going through a breakup.
Yeah.
Or, you know, sometimes you go in there and you just got some like big success at your job and you share that together, like as trainer and as client. So it's like you get to go throughout life together in this kind of way and to go after this progress together, which is something really beautiful. So
it really is. And, you know, there's like I have a few clients that I see every morning, and I've seen every morning for 5 years, you know, and it's like, that person's, I mean, he's like family to me.
Yeah.
And I would assume, you know, it's the same for him. And it's like, you know, I feel like I go to his work every day. I'm like, how was work? How was that thing with your boss? Did he call you? Like, what did he say? This fucking asshole.
Yeah.
You know, stuff like that.
Right.
I wouldn't trade that for the world. I mean, that is my social life.
Yeah. Okay. So sports, did you play sports in high school?
Yeah. I love sports. Played pretty much every sport. Mostly basketball was my first love. Played basketball all through middle school and high school. And then played football my senior year of high school and ran track only because I wasn't good enough to play basketball anymore.
Oh.
But it was funny. I was already lifting weights a little bit, and I remember when the basketball coach told me, you know, and I'm not going to walk down that childhood heartbreak. But
That's so sad.
the football coach literally came to me and was like, hey, come here. And he was like, this is where you're going to be now. This is what you're going to do. And it was, you know, football was fun.
Yeah.
But it was that taught me that weightlifting was just where I want to be. I still remember my first pump like it was yesterday.
Wait, shut up.
Oh, man.
All right, tell us about the pump.
The
Was
first
it chest pump
ever. Chest and triceps.
I knew
yeah.
it.
I mean, of course, I was 15, so what do you do besides bench press and
course.
curl?
Absolutely.
Surely not going to squat.
I was just going to say that.
You have to be an adult to squat, I think.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I remember, the only thing I really remember was, you know, we was at the school weight room, and then you remember push panel doors, you know, the push panels. I just remember like trying to push it, and it felt so much different than it ever had to pick up my arms and push them forward, and my chest almost cramped. And I was like, yep, that's got to happen every day for the rest of my life. Remember it like it was yesterday.
So that's when you started lifting. That's when you got your first pump. What made you have the idea like, oh, I should bodybuild? Because lifting and being in the weight room is different than bodybuilding. So when did you decide to go down the path of bodybuilding?
Yeah, actually, another kind of monumental time in my life. I had just kind of cleaned up my life, I had been in some trouble, got out of some trouble, and was kind of straightening out my life. And I started going back to the gym with a cousin of mine and got into training. And there was a bodybuilder there, an older guy. And he, you know, came up to me and he was like, hey, man, you got a good physique. You ever think about competing? And I was like, I am much too tall and much too skinny for such things. That's just not going to happen. And he looked at me and he goes, you're wrong.
Wait, that's awesome.
That's what he said. And then I went home and I just did some research and kind of studied a little bit and just walked back and was like, okay, tell me about it, man. Let's do this the next day. But you know, that's how I discovered bodybuilding and I started on the process and learning how to eat and stuff. And then I guess when I started to be successful at maintaining good things in my life around bodybuilding, I started to really realize that it was probably just the way I should live my life because it's structured and it makes sense and I focus well with it. And that's when I really decided that bodybuilding was for me. It was like, I like living this way.
That's dope. So for you, it's like you found this new way to live your life, like a new lifestyle.
I feel like it saved my life. You know, I had drug problems pretty heavily in my younger years, as like every kid, I guess. But anyway, realizing that I had an addiction to a stimulus, you know, I feel like bodybuilding kind of saved my life because it allowed me to function in society while still receiving the stimulus or a stimulus on a consistent, regular basis. And, you know, I mean, everybody knows that there's some addiction to training. It's the same receptors, same stimuli. Dopamine is dopamine, you know? So, but that's really, yeah, I mean, it saved my life.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Who was one of your first inspirations in bodybuilding?
Tom Platz.
Oh, wow. That was
Tom
quick.
Platz, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Tom Platz.
rightfully so. He's incredible.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, I agree with you.
Yeah.
I had an opportunity to sit and talk with him a little bit once.
Really? How was
and
that?
It's fascinating. You know, a lot of people don't know he was an English teacher at Santa Monica High School while he was a bodybuilder.
Did not know that.
And I'm kind of a nerd. I have an affinity towards English teachers and literature, and I just remember watching his videos and seeing the intensity, and it's like I would hear him say things and be like, yeah, I feel that way. You know, like, yeah, I can get behind that. And these are crazy things like, if you don't die before you get out of that squat rack, then I'm like, yeah, you're absolutely right, man. Let's go.
You're like, yep, I agree with this.
Yeah.
That's something I would agree with too.
But just to pair that sort of raw intensity with intellect fascinated me. And I just really identified with that. It's like, you're like a power nerd. You know, or like a fucking
nerd. Wait, that is
like a rage nerd. Like you just love going there, and you love figuring out new ways to get to that point. And there's intellect there, and that's what stimulates me.
Oh, absolutely, and that's something I've experienced even on the client end of things because I remember the first few times it was happening, I was like, this guy really loves his job. Like what I'm talking about is when, say, for example, we'd be doing something and maybe it wasn't like hitting the muscle right or something. And then you would like really think about it and be like, well, let's think about this. And then you would say, change this, your foot this way or do this or whatever, make a little tweak to it. And I'd be like, wow, it's perfect. And you'd be like, yes,
yeah.
Like it was like such a win for you. And at first I was like, is he serious? And then like you could tell like you really are that passionate about it, and that it, like you said, it's like a game for you. Like
it absolutely
let's
is.
figure it out every single time.
Everything's a puzzle.
Yeah.
And I mean, I do get excited. I wonder, actually, it's interesting you say that when you're like, is he serious? I wonder sometimes when people are like, what is Doug doing? Like, is he okay?
Yeah.
Is there a camera? I don't know. But yeah, sometimes I know.
No, I love it. I don't think I've ever seen anyone love their job and be truly so passionate and so in it and so focused like you do. So I think it's what makes you a great trainer.
I'm happy to hear that that's how it's received because that's where it comes from. I mean,
1,000%.
My grandfather told me once, if you love what you do, you'll never work a day in your life. And I mean, honestly, that's very true.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a lucky guy. I don't have those days where I'm like, I got to go to work. Mm-hmm. I'm like, I got a board meeting I got to go to.
Right.
I do what I want. I'm a lucky guy.
Yeah, and you have the freedom and flexibility to work with who you want to.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I did my gym trainer time. I worked at LA Fitness for like 2 years. I did my time,
Mm-hmm.
But if you're a personal trainer and you want to expand your business, go private and find a gym to work at. It's the best way to go.
Amen. I did the same thing because I was working at Gold's Corporate at a certain point in my life, and I very quickly found out that I needed to go on my own. I was only there for a few months, and I upped on all of my certifications and stuff so I could get the highest level payout. And even at the highest level payout, they pay you nothing compared to what you can do on your own.
Well, I mean, but it's compared to what you do on your own.
It's a good step, though, right? Like, I feel like, especially beginners, it's a great place to start.
Absolutely. 100%. I tell people that all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Like, LA Fitness is, in my opinion, and I'm not endorsing LA Fitness. I mean, they're not paying me for saying this or whatever, but it is the best place to start a personal training career. Because,
Why?
Well, I mean, just like everyone else or any other big corporate gym, the diversity of clients is huge, right?
Okay.
You're going to be forced to work with people that you would never pursue working with. You're going to be exposed to things that you've never had to deal with, and it's just going to make you a better trainer.
Yeah.
But in LA Fitness exclusively, they have a staff of people that sell personal training for you. So it's not as high pressure. Like if you go to 24-hour fitness and or Equinox, I have quite a bit of experience with Equinox. If you're not hitting your numbers at Equinox, you're walking that floor. They treat you like a slave,
Yeah.
And it's like at LA Fitness, you still have to walk the floor, but you don't have that pressure. You're filled with clients. You can work as much as you're really willing to, depending on how busy the gym is, of course.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I really am thankful for my time at LA Fitness. Mm-hmm. I mean, a lot of my success training women, I think, has more to do with the fact that I started at LA Fitness and was exposed to a vast array of women who would never have thought to train with 6'2", 300-pound guy.
Yeah.
So for both me and them,
Yeah.
probably experiences that we wouldn't have known how much we would enjoy.
Yeah, that's such a good point too, because I feel like sometimes, like what we were just saying, go work for yourself, and so we don't want to just promote that. Like, I think there are stages and steps, and I think working for a gym is a great step. And you just have to recognize when, like, okay, I've gotten everything I need to get from this step, and now I'm ready to move on to the next step. There's no shame in working for a gym. There's no shame in working for, corporate, and you're not better if you work for yourself. It's just, it seems to be a natural progression for a lot of people that are truly passionate about making this their main thing in the long run.
Absolutely. I think so. I think, it sounds like when somebody who works for themselves talks about it, it seems like they just up and decided, I'm going to go work for myself.
Yeah.
But it's like there's quite a bit that went into how am I going to do this and, the rites of passage and the stages, like you said. I think that's 100% right.
Yeah. Give us some insight into your bodybuilding career. So what was your first show? How many shows have you done? What was your last placing? All of that.
Yeah, my first show was the Mr. New Mexico. They call it the Mid USA / Mr. New Mexico. I did that show twice. The first year I did it, I won the super heavyweight only because I was the only one there. And really, I shouldn't have been a super heavyweight. I was much too fat. But I was like, I don't know, 22, 23. So it was my first stint. And then the next year, or I think it was the next year or 2 years later, I went back and won the overall at the Miss New Mexico. And that's about when I decided it was time to start thinking about moving out to LA or something. I wanted to do a California show first, so I did the Excalibur. I came out here and did the Excalibur the same year that I did the Miss New Mexico, because the Excalibur's in December.
Yeah.
It usually is.
Yeah, the end of December.
And I didn't do very well there. I was pretty outmatched, but it was my first taste. And then when I moved to California, I did the Excalibur again and won that motherfucker.
Hell yeah.
That was pretty cool. That was probably my biggest success thus far. As personally, it feels like the biggest success. Did the Cal, and then I won the West Coast Classic overall in 2016. 2017, I went to the Nationals and placed 8th, and then that was the USA's. And then 2018, I did the Nationals and placed 5th. 5th at the North Americans 2019, and 5th at the Nationals 2019.
Oof.
Lots of 5ths.
Yeah, but you have
I'm not bothered by that at all, by the way.
Not at all. But you have to realize what he's talking about are massive national shows where, these people are coming in from all over the country to compete here. So these are not small shows. And as a super heavyweight, to be able to even be in that top 5 like that is a really, really big deal, because you have to realize when they do get that final, first place, they're going on with the pros. They're going on to compete against people that compete at the Olympia, like the best in the world that have been doing this for years and years and years. So just like with his professional career in training, it's the same thing in bodybuilding. You got to take those steps. And sometimes you're at a step a little bit longer than you'd like to be, but it's all to make you better.
Absolutely. And, when it comes to that kind of thing, I found a lot of peace after last year. I kind of had this aha moment or realization that in this life, in this world, in bodybuilding, fitness in general, the beauty is the journey, and so I don't really worry about it anymore. It's like, it'll happen when it's going to happen, and it's a great ride. So I'm just along for the ride. And that really, kind of like you said, there's steps and there's processes, and it's like without each one of these steps, you won't be prepared for the next one. You won't be ready to grow this way. You won't be ready to grow that way, whether it's physically, emotionally, et cetera, et cetera.
Okay, so I want to dive into, you said that you were a skinny kid and you're like, there's no way I can do bodybuilding. So, because I imagine the quote unquote skinny kids that are watching this right now, right? They're like, I identify with that. So like, what kind of advice could you give them to getting started, and like when can they start to see some muscle on their body? You know what I mean?
If you're going to start this, obviously the first thing you have to understand is every single person is 100% completely different. So it's really not advantageous of you to compare yourself to anybody else, especially if you are literally just starting in the gym, just wanting to get started. The first thing is, of course, all the old guys always tell the young guys, be patient. You have to be patient.
So true.
And you have to handle your business with the knife and the fork. Like, if you want to be a bodybuilder, you must eat. It must be 80% of your life. Like, let's just be real. While you're trying to build muscle, there's no way around it. And every way that you think is around it is probably unhealthy. Just, be smart and lift heavy things. That's how you get started. But really, it's just be patient and eat. You know, just know that it's like you got to get six meals a day if you want to be a bodybuilder.
Yeah, it's so true. You gotta eat, walk, talk. You gotta do the whole thing. You can't just halfway go into it. It truly is like a complete lifestyle, and it's not just something that you do for a show. It's something that literally needs to be 365. Like, it always blows my mind when people would see me like training hard as hell in the gym. And they're like, "Oh, do you have a show coming up?" And I'm like, "No, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
Like, it's just a Tuesday."
Yeah, it's
a Tuesday.
Just leg day.
Yeah, it's leg day. What are you talking about? And I think that's the biggest difference in the people that I think do really well and make it far and really reach their goals are the people that make it just their lifestyle versus a program that they're following versus a like one-off 12-week prep that they're doing.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, like, and that's just, it's the same is true in life in general. I mean, they say that it takes 1 million hours to truly master something.
Yeah.
You know, it's like if you want to excel in anything, you have to put all of your focus there. There really isn't, you know, oh, I'm going to spend 2 hours on this, 2 hours on that. I don't really believe that. It's like, no, your energy goes there. But not everybody functions that way either.
Yeah, so true. Okay, so how do you gain muscle and get leaner for the guys that are listening and want to do that?
When you figure it out, please include me in that email.
Same, CC
You know,
me.
like, we're all looking for that still.
Yeah. What would be your advice, like, for someone that wants to do that? They're like, "Hey, man, I want to get, bigger chest, bigger arms, but I need my abs to come in. I'm fat right now."
Well, wake up every morning and do an hour of cardio before you eat anything, no matter what. And then as you train hard with pretty heavy weight, but fast. Don't rest. You should leave the gym drenched in sweat. The guys that are shredded and lean and, vascular, they're not power lifters. They're not, taking 5-minute rest times. They're not doing 1 to 2 reps. You're supersetting. You're running around the gym like I make Emily do, because that's, you
Which
train
I love
like,
and prefer.
Yeah, that's what I've always felt like you train like an athlete if you want to look like an athlete. Even if whether you're a bodybuilder or a bikini competitor, if you want to look athletic, like you use your body and you use it to the fullest extent it can, then do it. And you will look like it. There's no way to fake it.
What's next for you as far as competing?
I am actually going to do the Amateur Olympia this year in December. It's on the 16th in Vegas, one day before the regular Olympia. Kind of like, I hadn't really talked about it much, but mainly that's just because of my reticence towards planning anything given this year. But
so if you guys are watching, I'm not sure exactly when this episode's going to go live, but make sure if you guys see this before he competes to go wish him good luck on his Instagram.
Yes, please.
Send him some positive vibes and even like, let's give a thumbs up on the YouTube video for today. He's here after an entire day of work. What time did you wake up this morning?
You won't even believe me.
Tell me.
3:15.
3:15. It's right now almost 5 p.m. He trained himself. He trained multiple clients. He's in the middle of prep. He's actually feels the worst that he's felt in a very long time. So Doug, truly thank you from the bottom of my heart. I know everyone appreciates it.
Wouldn't
Seriously.
miss it for the world.
I know, but I know those prep feels, and I have a lot of competitors that listen to the show, so I know that they know the prep feels. So guys, imagine your like hardest, worst day, not worst, but like just hardest day, like struggling, and then you got to come and be on a show. So that's what he's doing for all of us right now. Thank you.
I usually don't say stuff like this, but for like the past week, there's been these cookies on the counter at Powerhouse. And
I've seen them.
They just look ridiculous, right? So I'm not going to eat a cookie, but if everybody that hears this, just go have a cookie.
Wait, shut up.
That would just make me pretty happy.
Did you just tell everyone to go eat a cookie?
Just go eat a cookie.
Oh, man, I remember the prep feels. To be honest, if you want, I will go eat a cookie just
Please.
for you.
Oh, blame it on me. Definitely.
Okay,
I'm
so
happy with it.
we have a few questions from the audience that I want to get to. I figured it'd be a good time just to kind of transition into this. Okay, so Becca asked, I want to know how you decided he was the trainer for you, because it takes a very specific type of person to keep up with you and all that badassery. This is someone that obviously knows me very well. This is Becca, my director of operations. The people that know me the best, like you, Becca, my brother, family, there aren't many other people that know me that way. They're like, how did you find someone that understands you? That also that I can just be like my full, like raw, most honest self with. And like I said, I think it was that very first training session when I recognized that you were able, I think this is what it is. I recognized that you recognized me, and I was like, oh, and then that you matched me there. You know what I mean? Like, you recognized where I was at in my head without me saying anything. Like, I was silent and you somehow matched me there and then pushed me there. And I was like, nobody knows about this button and you're pushing it. It was great.
Yeah, like I said, the intensity that you bring, it's like an onion. There's another layer all the time.
Yeah.
But I remember that first workout, and it was brutal. I remember, it was one of the ones I was probably trying to show off because, my girlfriend, my client, and a prospective client are all there, and
right.
And they're all training their ass off and looking fantastic. So
yeah.
I was probably trying to show off, and there's just no quit in you.
Yeah. Oh no, absolutely not. But which is good too, because I think sometimes you allow me the freedom to do that, and then other times you're like, no.
Yeah.
And I need that sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes the right option is like, hold tight.
Absolutely.
Okay, the next question makes me laugh because of what I normally say after the end of our sessions. She said, what was your favorite day training together? So what do I say after like most sessions?
That was the best one yet. Literally. Almost every single one.
And like, what's funny is that it's just a genuine quick comment, and I always catch myself afterwards and I'm like, man, I say that every time. Oh, it's great. Someone just says, I love him. Heart emoji.
Oh, well, thank you very much.
Yeah. Derek wants to know why you're so awesome. I promise I'll get to some real questions. Okay. Number one tip that you would give to somebody who wants to become a personal trainer.
Oh, yeah. Well, right now, I mean, just given the COVID thing, I really am kind of at a loss, but in a regular world, get your certification. Make sure you get one that's accepted everywhere, because they all cost about the same and they're all about the same, I think. But if you make sure to get one accepted anywhere, it doesn't matter where you land. Everybody will accept it, like ACE or NASM or one of those ones are good. And go work for a gym. Go try to find a mentor sort of trainer that maybe, a guy that owns a gym. If you don't have an LA Fitness or a 24-hour Fitness, if you can't get into something like that, go to your gym and try to find someone. Just make sure that you learn first. I teach all my stuff from personal experience. I'm not really a big book trainer, and stuff like that. So,
I mean, it's much different reading it in a book and then actually doing it. And I didn't really mention this to begin with, but, Doug, being a Gold's Gym Venice, he's trained with the best trainers and the best bodybuilders literally in the world.
Yeah.
Like, actually quite literally in the world.
Literally,
so,
yeah.
like, his experience is just such a different level of experience. So I can definitely echo what you're saying here, to find someone that you can learn from, find someone that you can kind of get mentored by, and maybe, even see if you can, like, shadow a trainer. Some people maybe...
I've done it before. I have had a couple different people that were in school or, in school for exercise science came to me and asked if they could follow me around for a day or two. And that was fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely, never be the smartest guy in the room. If you look around and you're the smartest guy, then you're in the wrong room.
That's so true.
You want to make sure that you're learning from the people that you really respect and that are respected in the community, and just be a sponge for knowledge. And then when you have some experience, don't be shy. Get out and take people seriously. I feel like that's one thing that as a trainer I do that sets me apart is I don't care who you are. If you want to train like a bodybuilder and really grow and you're going to put everything there, I will take you seriously. I'll scream at you and yell at you and get everything out of you. I don't care if some people are over there in the corner laughing like, what is Doug doing with this little guy?
Right.
It doesn't matter. I'll take you as, take people seriously and give them the benefit of the doubt, because you never know what you're going to bring to their life, and you also never know what you're going to get from them. Not financially, that's not what I mean, but
yeah.
You just never know what that give or take's going to be.
Yeah, and it's funny that you mentioned this, because on the way here, I was thinking in my head, I was like, oh, I definitely have to talk about this, about the fact that, and I feel like a lot of women especially, I think, will relate with what I'm about to say, but I feel like sometimes, like, if you're not pushing super impressive weight or something, that, like, guys don't take you seriously, or they think that, like, they can make you hurry up with your sets, or, like, you feel like you're not really taken seriously, or even with trainers, you feel like because you're not doing something impressive, you're not jumping the highest, you're not pushing crazy weight, that they won't take you seriously. especially, and something I've noticed with you, with myself, but also when watching you train just any other, random person that hires you to train them, like you are just in it with them and you're treating them just like they are going to the Olympia.
Well,
Like you don't treat anyone differently. But I think that's what definitely sets you apart, because there's other trainers that they treat their Olympia level clients one way, and then they treat their other clients just kind of like not as serious or not as intense. And, you don't change, which is something that I think is incredibly valuable.
I mean, it's something that I really strive for. Like, I mean, it's easy for me because I just love when somebody is going like somewhere they've never been before. Like to me, I'm like, dude, wait till you see this. Like, come on, 2 more reps. You're gonna feel so cool. Shit like that. But nobody will give them the chance for that. And you're absolutely right. Like, like a lot of trainers will see somebody. Some of my clients will be like, no, I'm not gonna train you for a show, bro. I'm just not that guy. I mean, I'll tell you that I don't think you're ready, and I'll tell you that we need to do this, this, and this. But I'll be there right there with you.
Yeah, I think that's the best. That you're so valuable. You don't even realize. Seriously, to have somebody that will see where you're at in your journey, be honest with you with where you're at, but be like, yo, I'm right here with you. Like, let's take 10 more steps that way. You
just keep trucking along.
Yeah, that's awesome. Someone asked, what if you like training at better, Powerhouse or Gold's?
Man,
they're just different.
They're totally different, 100% different. I mean, Gold's, I moved across the country for that place. And the first time I walked in, I cried, quite literally. I'm not joking. Like, Gold's, it's everything to me. And I was really brokenhearted when all this happened. I mean, I don't think I left the house for like 2 weeks. I mean, I know we weren't allowed to, but whatever.
Right. Everyone's like, big deal, Doug. Neither did we.
But Powerhouse, very similar environment as far as the people. Yeah. And without, just... They're different.
Different. Yeah, that's how I would describe it too. And similar to you, I remember... Oh my gosh. I remember when one of our friends called me and told me that Gold's had shut down. I was at the beach. I just ran to the beach and I was like, you were joking. I was on the phone. I was like, no, you're lying. And they're like, yeah, they shut down. And like, honestly, they're probably not going to open up again. And I was like, I'm not accepting that. And they were like, Emily, like, here's the link that it's really happening. And I literally like broke down.
Oh yeah.
And cried because I similarly like literally moved to California. Like part of the main reason was Gold's Gym Venice. Like that's everyone's dream who's in the fitness industry.
It is. Yeah.
And
100%.
like it became our family. Like we've been training there for so long. I don't want to talk about it too much. We're going to get emotional. We're like, let's not go there. Anyways, we love it so much. Nothing can ever replace that. But, Powerhouse has given us a new and a different experience and kind of like a new family to be a part of.
Well, let me give a shout out to Dave Fisher.
Yeah, please do. Yeah.
Just for standing up for what he believed in. I mean, we don't have to get into any of that stuff at all. The man owns a business and said, if I close my doors, I lose my business anyway. So you can come take it if you want. And he's been careful. He's followed the rules. We clean everything pretty strictly. But I just, Dave Fisher, he earned all of my respect for that. Yeah. And I'll stand behind him as long as I need to.
I agree with that wholeheartedly. My gosh. I had to tell him like multiple times, honestly, thank you so much for staying open. And let's talk about this for a second, because it's not just us wanting to go lift weights. Like it's not just about this aesthetic reason of wanting to lift weights. Like truthfully, I need the gym. And so what Dave did by keeping open was literally like give us something that we needed for like our mental health, our mental sanity. Like it's such an essential part of like who I am, and also just staying mentally sane. Like I don't know, I honestly don't know how people are doing it without a gym. So like I'm going to echo what you said and just say thank you so much to Dave and everyone at Powerhouse, and thank you to the regular members there that welcomed us all with open arms, because we came from all over LA and swarmed their gym. I'm sure it was a lot.
Yeah, I just walk in there with my 5 duffel bags and okay, I work here now with all my clients. I know I'm a loud guy.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. Yeah. You're not really like, you can't really sneak in places. No. So truthfully, thank you to them. But will you speak a little bit on like what the gym means? So maybe people are watching and they're not super into the gym. Can you explain to them like what the gym means for people, and even your clients that you see and the hardships that you see them go through, and like what it means to them, that it's so much more than just lifting?
Yeah, I can talk. I mean, I can go on and on for that about that for hours, but I'll go both ways. I'll say for me personally, or for people and in a professional athlete setting or whatever, it's and then for my clients who are just kind of normal people. But for us athletes, yes, it is literally the first thing we think about when we wake up. Like our eyes open and we're like, it's back day.
Yeah.
Okay.
Literally.
I got to eat this today and then I got to pack. It's like it's the first thing we think about. And it doesn't change all day long. Like our entire day is geared towards that workout and geared towards capitalizing on it. And it just kind of permeates our entire life. So when it's gone, I don't care if you have a normal job. You're not thinking about your normal job. You're thinking about the fact that you're not thinking about working out today. And every day that just builds and builds and builds. I made the analogy of it's like you have an orgasm that's supposed to come out.
Yeah.
It's this little mad thing inside of you. And if it doesn't come out, it's just like,
It's just
I'm
there.
stuck in here. Let me, and it permeates your life.
Yeah, it's so true.
Now for my clients, for my normal people, my
Normal people.
sorry.
No, it's okay. We're the crazy ones.
They don't necessarily. I have some clients. I'm thinking of one in particular named Mario. We'll talk about Mario. Mario doesn't love working out. He doesn't come to the gym like super excited to see what kind of bench press he's going to put out.
Right.
But Mario found out very quickly as his life didn't change with the exception of the gym's closing. Like his job continued just like normal. His life continued pretty much like normal. He just couldn't go out to dinner and he couldn't go to the gym. He gained 30 pounds in 2 months and he didn't change his diet. But because he went stagnant in a very high stress environment, his life just imploded, and so did his physical health. He was almost diabetic, cholesterol's through the roof. He had to get back to the doctor. Then when we finally found that little private gym to start working out at, it took all year to get the weight back off. And so that's what I do as a trainer for guys like that. Is it's like you come in, I'll make working out bearable because you need it.
Right.
We'll do it, we'll make it fun because you need it. So that he shows me how much somebody who just has a normal 3-day-a-week fitness routine really relies on that.
Oh, wow.
Because it's not their main focus. So it's very easy for it to slip through the cracks when it stops being effective.
Yeah.
And then you start to see the side effects on the negative side in everything else in your life. It's a dangerous thing.
That's so true. And I know, personally from a lot of friends that deal with serious mental health issues like depression and even like suicidal ideation and things like that. It's literally sometimes like one workout away from not giving into the depressive thoughts that they have or the other thoughts that they have. Like it really has become like their safe haven.
Oh, I am one of those people.
Right.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
It gives me a reason to stay on the path I'm on.
Yeah.
And a lot of times as that dwindles away, we start to lose it. And of course, that's not right. That's not how we should think. We should be able to cope with things like that a little bit better, but we should be able to do a lot of things.
It's a healthy way of coping. I have a lot of friends
Absolutely.
in the sober community as well. And one of the ways that they stay sober is literally from being able to go to the gym. So
absolutely.
We could probably go on and on about this, about it being essential. And hopefully we'll never have to fight for this again. But I am thankful for the people that are fighting for it because it 1000% is such an essential part of just mental health, physical health, everything.
And if I can help in that fight in any way, please feel free to reach out.
Same.
I would love to have more allies to stand behind fighting for the importance of this in our society.
Absolutely.
In our society.
Yeah, there's a gym, I forgot what it's called, but it's a little bit north of us. And they're kind of going through the same thing and going through the court cases. And I've been sharing their stuff on my story as well. And they're putting up the good fight. So it always encourages me when I see people like that standing up for what they know is true and what they believe in, and standing up just ultimately for what's right. So
yeah, for what you believe in and for what's right. Yeah, Dave Fisher has paid $15,000 in fines. So, but he deserves every bit of business he's getting right now.
1000%. Okay, so this question makes me laugh because I already know the answer. How to tell if you are going hard enough in the gym? You're not.
Yeah, you're not.
The answer is you're not.
The answer is you can always go harder.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and I mean, here's the thing. Like, if you feel like you're having to question that, if you're not sure, get a training partner, get a trainer. Like, get an outside eye, an outside source that can really push you for that. Okay, someone asked, will Doug please share his testimony? So you're a man of faith. You're a man that believes in God. Can you share a little bit about your personal experience and why, just kind of a little bit into that? Yeah.
Absolutely. I was raised a Christian. My mother was a very Christian woman. And so I learned the Bible through elementary school and Christian, not Catholic. But my mother always let me make my own decisions. That's one thing. She always really kind of treated me like an adult. Very thankful for that. But so I decided not to go to church.
Okay, bye, Mom.
Yeah. But it was always kind of spotty in my life. And then 2017 was a big growth year for me. I turned 30. And I found Zoe, which is a church in LA. And it was just the first time that I really sat down and was able to apply the Bible to my life. And really like, oh, that's what I'm talking. That's what you're talking about. And just kind of, it just made sense this time. I don't know if it was just because I was older, or it was at the right time, but I mean, I feel the Holy Spirit tug on me every hour, and I have my whole life. Like it's like it's always been there. But yeah. So about 3 years ago, I got real serious. Or I don't know. My relationship with God got good. We talked a lot, and we still talk a lot, and it's amazing. I mean, that's pretty much a broad stroke of my testimony.
So I want to know, because someone asked this on another podcast, and I'm curious to what your answer is. But they said, does God really help you through tough times? And like, if so, like how? You know, to someone who maybe doesn't experience that in their life, can you like elaborate on that a little bit?
Absolutely. You know, the one thing that really clicked with me is when I really started trusting God. And I can't explain to you how I started trusting God. I don't know where that came from, but it was, for the first time in my life, a genuine, God's got me. As long as I do the best I can and follow these guidelines and, you know, just live a Christian life. And as I started living a Christian life and focusing on living a Christian life, not focusing on what I was getting from living a Christian life, but like trying to learn what living a Christian life was and sticking to it and really actually submitting yourself to some discipline with regards to it. I started seeing the fruits of that financially, emotionally. And now it's like I feel like my day is off if I haven't spent my 10 minutes while I'm on the treadmill generally talking to God and like just, hey man, this is what I'm thinking about today, and thank you for all these things you've given me. And thankfulness, that's another big one. Being thankful has helped me and my outlook in life so much. Just literally verbally acknowledging, I'm so thankful for my truck.
Wow.
You know, I'm so thankful that I had 6 clients today. That's, you know, stuff like that. It changed my entire outlook. And these are just the kind of things that really just changed my life. And so, yes, God helps me through tough times.
Yeah.
Truly.
I love that. And I have to echo that as well, because it's funny. I definitely live my life in a state of gratitude. I try to always do that, but there's definitely something different about like saying it out loud. I remember like the other day, it was for some reason, I sometimes will have these days where I have like an off day, or I'll have a day where I'm feeling like anxious or something. And when I do that, sometimes I don't realize that like I'm in my head all day long. And I just remember vividly, I was like showering, and then all of a sudden I said it out loud. I was like, thank you so much for my beautiful apartment, and, you know, Vinny, and this and that. And once I said it out loud, I was like, oh my gosh, like it was this like release, and like it felt good.
Yeah.
And like there's like an energy behind your words. And I think that words are very, very powerful. So especially in moments when we get caught up in our head, caught up in overthinking, sometimes you can just break that pattern simply by speaking out loud. And the best thing you could speak out loud is gratitude.
Gratitude.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Gratitude, man. And that's something cool, you know, between our client and trainer and friendship. You know, I always say client trainer because he's coming on as my trainer, but we're like homies. Like we're going to be friends forever. It's just been something that's been really cool because, you know, you guys, I was training with Doug like 5 times a week at one point, and, you know,
we were crushing it.
We spent a lot of time together. So in that time, he's seen me go through many ups and many like downs where like I would come in and like not even really say a word, and he would just be like, okay, that's where we're at today, you know? And so being able to have this common ground of faith.
And vice versa, I should add. I mean, it's not like I'm always just fucking perfect.
Close. Oh no, that's true.
Yeah, no.
But what's great is like we're the same kind. So like you recognize it in me immediately, and I recognize it in you immediately, and we're able to just kind of like match each other where we're at, or even better yet, we're able to like pull the load a little bit.
Absolutely.
You know, like
Absolutely.
I can always recognize when it's like, okay, it's the end of the day, like, you know, this, that, and the other, and the session might start like a certain kind of energy, and by the end of it, it's ending with like the best.
Yeah.
Always.
That's actually really true. Yeah, like, you know, the first set I'll be like yawning and leaning, and then once you start going, I'm like, all right, we're going. Here we go.
Yeah. Well,
Usually it switches on the hamstring curl.
because it's so hard because I'm doing it correctly. You
Yes.
know, like I feel like hamstring curl was so much easier when I was doing it wrong for
Oh
years.
God, I didn't do them right for fucking 10 years.
Oh man.
And I thought I had strong hamstrings.
Okay, can you give a hamstring curl tip, a lying hamstring curl tip?
Oh yeah, I'll
Verbally.
change your life. Hips down, squeeze your glutes, knees up. Your glutes will not stay squeezed, I promise. But if they come unsqueezed, just squeeze them again and keep doing the exercise. It's not easy. Try it with 0 weight first, and that'll change your life.
Yeah, it really will. Once you do it for the first time, you'll be like, wow, I was doing this wrong and with my lower back the entire time.
You get a little bit of hamstring squeeze when your butt comes up, but only like for like a 10% of that range of motion.
Okay, what keeps you so committed and so consistent in your bodybuilding lifestyle?
Well, I mean, that's like asking a 5-year-old kid who gets a free ride to the park every day, like, what keeps you so consistent at going and playing with your friends all day? I want to do it.
Literally. So I think, you know, to kind of add on to that, I think I would say find a way to make your fitness and this healthy lifestyle fun for you. You know, maybe not everyone's into bodybuilding like we are. Not everyone is crazy and twisted and wants to go for those negative reps or pause reps or, you know, but like maybe you like group fitness classes. And when you go, like you love the energy of everyone else around you, which Doug and I would not always like. Like, get away.
I mean, if that's for you, more power to you.
Yeah.
Good for you.
I don't mind it sometimes. But
I'm seriously though, I really think it's important that, you know, we all need to know and act accordingly to the fact that there's no one way to do fitness.
Thank you.
You just got to move every day until a little bit of sweat drips off the tip of your head. And then if you want to stop, go home.
Yeah.
If you want to keep going, you're not going to die. Keep going.
You're not going to die.
Yeah, like there's little consequence to these decisions, but the one that matters the most is I got to use my body today because it's going to keep me healthy. And that's the most important thing. That's, you know, like I know I am a bodybuilder, but I tell my clients all the time, like, I don't expect you to be a bodybuilder. You don't have to eat 6 chicken breasts a day. You know, we can just come in and work out, whatever you want to do.
Right.
Just do something. And if you need someone's help, find it. You know, go ask.
Yeah, absolutely.
You have not because you ask not.
So true. What helps keep you in a positive mindset given all the things that life throws at you? Like even this year, you know, we went through so many things. What kept you like in that positive mindset and being like, we can do this, we can get over this? And even like having to make those transitions from like we're at Gold's Gym Venice full time to now literally overnight they said that it was closed and we all just had to figure it the hell out. So like, how do you keep a positive mindset through all that?
For one, you said it correctly the first time when you said, what helps keep you in a positive mindset? Because I don't stay in a positive mindset 100% of the time. But one thing that really, really helps is God and thankfulness. It's really hard to have a negative attitude when you force yourself to stop and look at the fact that you still have a roof over your head, you still have food on the table, and, you know, things aren't as bad as we make them out to be in our head. The other thing that helped me is just brute force, you know, like, man, if you're pissed off about something, okay, take an hour, be pissed for an hour, but then shut the hell up and get back to work.
Yeah.
You know, because you must, there is no, I'm not going to do it, I'm sad. No, you just do it.
Do it sad.
Be sad. Yeah, exactly. Be sad while you do it. And, you know, if somebody comes up, pretend you're happy and continue to pretend you're happy until it's true. You know?
Right. Yeah.
Just
So sometimes it's okay to do that.
Yeah, absolutely it is. You know, yeah, 100%.
Yeah, like you don't always have to have it perfectly together in order to show up. It's okay to show up messy. It's okay to show up sad. just show up and keep putting one foot in front of the other. And eventually you're going to get to your destination.
Absolutely.
It might look messy. It might look a little crazy sometimes, but you'll be there. And everyone else that is like a real one beside you, they're going to be all messy. Their hair is going to look bad, you know, that kind of thing. But like you guys are going to get there together. And that's something that the gym and the fitness community in general, I feel like has really given, you know, me and you and all of us is like this new community to be a part of.
Absolutely.
To where like, it's cool. Like you can always tell when someone comes in the gym and like something's off. You know, and you can tell that they're having those kinds of days. And so, man, I even remember like on some of my hardest days, like I would be like, it was actually one of your clients. It was actually recently. It was one of your clients, you know, and I'm in the middle of my session and not a very good day, you know, but I'm there and I'm doing it. And he just comes by and goes, hey, and like gives me a little fist bump. And like in that moment, like what I really felt was like, got you. Yeah. And then, you know, like you don't even have to say anything. It's just that acknowledgement of like, I see you. It's all right. You know, and you're like, okay. So it's been really cool for, you know, me to experience just that kind of community. I
was not a social kid in school. I really didn't grow up as, you know, like a real socialite or, you know, big friend guy. But the fitness industry really brought that part of me out. You know, I've always been pretty quiet. You're never going to, when I was younger anyway, you're never going to hear me like, hey, I got an idea to a group of people. Like,
you tell me that.
Yeah, no, now.
Oh, okay.
I'm fantastic at it.
I remember you saying that exact line.
Yeah. Hey, I got an idea.
Yeah.
But like, you know, before Gold's Venice and the environment that I was so fortunate enough to be in, I was not this guy. I mean, I honestly look back at myself and I'm like, man, I used to be so scared to do anything. Like, you know, I waited outside the bathroom for Danielle to come out for like 15 minutes just to ask for her number. I was so nervous.
Shut up.
Yeah, like I was.
By the way, Danielle is his girlfriend.
Yeah, Danielle's my girlfriend of 5 years or so.
Yeah, which I was just about to bring up anyway. So it's perfect that you went into this.
Wait,
so tell us about that story of meeting her and asking for her number.
Oh, well, I remember seeing Danielle walk across Gold's, and I was actually with Cyrus.
Oh, yeah.
My old roommate, Cyrus, and I was like, who's that? And he's like, oh, that's Danielle. She's a nursing student. And that was it. And then I didn't see her for like a week, and I saw her again. And I was like, man, she is beautiful. Holy moly. And then so I, you know, did the creeper thing because, well, let's be real. I'm being honest here. I was not the smoothest dude in the box. But anyway, so I saw her go into the bathroom, and so I sat on a butt blaster, the glute kickback.
I know exactly what that is.
Yeah, and I was doing glute kickbacks, just waiting for her to come out.
Shut up. You were doing
it.
No
joke.
I thought you were just sitting there, but you actually did it.
Well, you can't just sit there. Then you look really creepy. I mean,
you could be in between sets when she gets out.
I could be. But knowing that, I would have like fallen over or something. Anyway.
Oh, my God.
I didn't know what to do. And
I don't know what to do with my hands. Help.
I never do this, but I really think you're pretty. Can I have your number? Maybe we'll go out. And she was like, yeah. Scribbled it.
Wait,
never
shut
texted back.
Up.
Nothing.
You texted her and she didn't text back?
Yeah, she didn't text back.
Danielle.
Oh, yeah. She played hard to get for a while, that girl.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so now it's been 5 years. So what was it like finally going on the first date?
Oh, it was, we knew. She'll kill me for saying this, but our first date lasted 3 days.
Wait, that's amazing.
It was amazing. I didn't talk to anybody else for 3 days. You know, it was just her and I. We never left each other's side. We went to dinner, and then that was just, you know.
You guys just connected. Yeah. That's awesome. And something I think is really cool about you guys is, you know, I've seen you guys grow together over the years, and I feel like you guys have really sharpened one another in such a good way. Like, I even remember, I'm excited to talk to her. She's going to be on a future episode. But I remember, like, whenever we had our first kind of deep conversation and, like, I said something and she responded, and I was like, whoa, I didn't know that was in her. Like, she's super deep and super, you know? And so I feel like, and I know how you are, so I feel like you've helped her maybe in that way. So what are some ways that you guys have, like, helped each other be better? Or, like, how have you guys kind of, like, you know?
Yeah. I mean, she helped me grow up. She watched me go through that transition of 27-year-old or 27, 28-year-old still shit stick fucking kid trying to pretend he's getting his life together chasing tail to, you know, the man I am today, which thankfully is a far cry. And I remember one time, this is just an example of, you know, she always held me to a pretty tough standard, but with compassion always. And, I remember
wow.
one thing we were talking about whether or not we were going to actually be together or not. And I was like, well, I don't know. We'll have to see how you handle it. We'll have to see how this goes. And she just looked at me. She said, you got to make a decision. You can't just see.
Yeah.
You got to choose and then make sure it happens.
Wow.
I remember like it was yesterday.
That's amazing advice. See what I mean? She's awesome. Like every time she opens her mouth, I'm like, damn, that was good.
And I'm sure there's others that I've helped her with, but
Of course,
I'll let her tell you
yeah,
that.
yeah, of course. That's awesome. Well, okay, so the year is wrapping up. Thank God. Do you have any plans for 2021, or do you have any future plans for your business or what you want to do, or are you kind of just waiting to see what happens with the world?
I mean, I think we're all kind of waiting to see what's going to happen with the world, but you do have to have plans. You do have to keep striving towards something. Business-wise, I'd really like to open up my online business a little bit more, but I have kind of a dilemma about that because I will not cheapen my product in the gym. Like, there's no way I'm going to take away attention from that. And also, I'm not a professional online presence developer. I know that's not a real position.
I'm like, you literally just made that up.
I know. But, so that's obviously my plans. I'd love to be able to reach more people. I'd love to be able to help more people. I'd love to be able to travel and do some seminars because I think there's, I think it could be very successful and a wonderful way to kind of spread my philosophy of fitness that I'm developing.
Yeah, and you and I have talked about doing those together potentially as well. So
yeah,
for everyone listening, if that's something that you would want to be involved in, let us know. Comment below. Tag us on Instagram. But what about for everyone listening that already is like, yep, I want to work with Doug? How can they get a hold of you? And what's the best way to reach you?
Yeah. If you are in LA, probably the best way to reach me is to come to Powerhouse and just ask for me. I'm there until like 3:00 every day. You can always hit me up on Instagram. If you're not in LA and you want to talk about diet and stuff, just email me, dougfruchey@gmail.com. I'm happy to answer any questions and help you out any way I can. I take everything on a case-by-case basis, so I can probably cut down a whole bunch of emails right away with I don't actually have an answer to what it's going to cost until we know what we're going to do.
Right.
So just go ahead and, say, hey, what's up? This is what I'm doing. This is what I think I need help with. This is why I think you could help me. What do you think?
Perfect.
And I'll sit down and respond.
I love it. Okay, well, I will make sure to put your email address, your Instagram, and anything else, all the links and stuff down below in the show notes.
Sure you know more about what they are already.
Of course. I'll link it all below from myself and also from everyone listening. Thank you so much, especially in the middle of your prep. Thank you for being here.
Oh, it was my pleasure. Wouldn't have missed it for the world.
All right, guys. We will see you in the next episode of Evolve with Emily. Thank you so much for watching.